please stand for the processional of the students? Please be seated. We are pleased that you could join us this evening for the 2022 University of Alaska Southeast Sitka Campus Commencement Ceremony. My name is Paul Kraft. I'm the Campus Director for UAS Sitka. I want to start our festivities by acknowledging that the land that the UAS Sitka campus is on is Tlingit Ani, Tlingit land. We want to say thank you for the wonderful stewardship of the land that has occurred for more than 10,000 years and continues to this day. Our pledge as a university is to partner with our Tlingit neighbors to live, work, and play in this amazing place in a manner that brings honor to this land alongside those that live here now and will for generations that follow. Before we start, I'd like to remind you to silence your cell phone or other devices. Please be aware that we have 2 exits and there's restrooms to your left or to your right. A few other housekeeping details. We started planning this event back in January or February and not knowing really what the pandemic was going to allow us to have, but we knew we wanted to have the event if we could at all costs. But to do that, we made a number of concessions. This was a different event than what we've ever had before. We made some decisions in order for us to have this in a safe manner, to have this event occur in a safe manner. One, we rented this space. We wanted a larger venue so we could kind of spread out. We weren't all packed into a smaller room. We asked our graduates to not bring their whole family. Only a couple, 2 or 3. And so I know that was a hardship for many of you. We typically at the conclusion of a commencement, we break bread together. We share cake and punch and coffee, and we eliminated that too because, again, we wanted to keep this as a safe event. And probably one that nobody minds too much, we reduced the number of speeches from 4 to just 1. So again, in order to shorten the time that we're next to each other. We encourage you to wear a mask. We're not demanding it, we're not requiring it, but we encourage you to do that. I'll be wearing a mask except when I'm up here speaking. A final change that we're making is that we're not going to be shaking hands. This is so ingrained in me. When I'm on the platform and students come past and get their diploma, I want to shake your hand. But again, trying to limit the amount of skin-to-skin contact. We're not going to be shaking hands, but we're going to take a lead from our whale friends and engage in what's known as pectoral fin slapping, or elbow bumping, as humans call it. So as you come up and get your not real diploma, but as you get your piece of paper and walk past us, we encourage you to, if you're comfortable with it, stick out your elbow and we'll make contact that way. We think that's appropriate since the UAS mascot is Spike the whale. And of course we live, I heard people talking about seeing whales even today. So the whales are all around us. And of all the whale research that happens at Sitka, we just thought, let's try to inject a little whale-ness into the event. So we welcome the proud parents, the grandparents, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, spouses, sons and daughters, and friends of our graduates. Those that are here in person and those that will be watching online when we put together the YouTube video and make it available to everybody. We thank you all for supporting your graduates. I want to also welcome the dedicated faculty, staff, administrator, and regents. Welcome and congratulations to the University of Alaska Southeast Sitka campus class of 2022. To signal the achievements of their students, American institutions of higher learning conduct formal ceremonies to award the appropriate degrees and credentials earned at the conclusion of a prescribed course of study. The act of taking a certificate, occupational endorsement, or degree, as well as the designation of the day itself, is known as commencement. Historically speaking, the term commencement originally referred to the time when an apprentice would begin her or his apprenticeship. It then later became the name of the day on which master's and doctorate degrees were conferred so that the masters and doctors could commence their work. Today, commencement marks a time when students who have finished their preliminary educations set out upon a career for which they have prepared. Graduates, we celebrate your achievement in this commencement ceremony and recognize this milestone in your educational and vocational journeys, a milestone worth celebrating. Despite 2 years of the pandemic, our graduation numbers are strong with more than 160 UAS Sitka campus degrees, certificates, or occupational endorsements. However, as 70 to 80% of our students attend classes online, many of our graduates are unable to join us tonight and will be receiving their degrees in absentia. Additionally, we're happy to recognize 20 additional University of Alaska students who live in Sitka who are receiving degrees from other University of Alaska campuses. They have been invited to participate in this ceremony as well. I'd like to welcome or to introduce our podium guests on the stage tonight, starting with my left, your left, Dr. Paul Lair, University of Alaska System Office, Vice President of Academics, Students, and Research. Regent John Davies from the University of Alaska Board of Regents has joined us this evening in Sitka to officiate the conferral of certificates and degrees. Dr. Karen Carey, UAS Chancellor, joins us again this year from Juneau. And next to the Chancellor is our Meritorious Award winner and commencement speaker, Dr. Elliot Brule. I'd like to thank them all for joining us in this celebration. This evening, our graduates' names will be read by Audrey Beam. Audrey is sitting right behind the students there. Students were also given the option to have their heritage name read aloud. Robbie Littlefield, our instructor of Alaska Native Languages, will present those names. She's sitting back by Audrey. I also like to recognize Dr. Jeff Loftus from the UAS College of Education at UAS, who is seated with the Sitka faculty. There you are, Jeff. Thank you for traveling to Sitka in order to help us recognize your Sitka-based graduates. Next, I would ask you to acknowledge our faculty and staff who provide the teaching excellence and administrative support that's critical to our students' success. They are the heart of our institution. They are dedicated to serving our students both live or in person and in virtual environments, including our online learning platforms through email, Zoom, and by telephone. Will all the faculty and staff please stand and be recognized? Finally, I want to take a couple more minutes to acknowledge 2 of our faculty and 2 of our staff. 2 faculty I want to recognize are 2 faculty who have worked at the university for a number of years, and this will be their final commencement ceremony as a faculty member, a full-time faculty member, because they are retiring. Jan Straley. Jan has authored more than 100 peer-reviewed publications, photographed thousands of whales, mentored 16 graduate students, and brought to the university more than $5 million in grants. Jan will be retiring after serving the campus for more than 25 years. You will be missed. Alan Puckett. As best that we can determine, he has taught 2,504 students during his time at the institution. It's safe to say that only a handful of communities in Alaska do not have a man or a woman that has been trained in welding by Mr. Puckett. During a brief conversation I had with him this morning, Mr. Puckett made the comment that it is fairly certain that he could travel any river in Alaska, stop in any community, and know someone that was once his student. In Sitka, if you're a welder as your primary job or as part of your major trade, chances are you took at least 1 class from Alan Puckett. Alan's going to be retiring in a couple weeks, and you as well will not be, you'll be missed but not replaced. So I appreciate it. I want to honor 2 of our staff members who are employees, current employees who will be graduating tonight. Kim Davis. Kim, you can stand and wave. Kim started working at the university in 2002 and joined the team as a full-time employee in 2006. During the past 16 years, she's served in many roles and has been part of the glue that holds us together. Kim earned her master's degree in public administration from UAS a year ago when we didn't have this event. So we were glad that she took us up on the offer to join this commencement to celebrate this significant accomplishment. And finally, Lucienne Shoemaker, who is not able to be here, but Lucienne is wrapping up her 9th year working at the university in the business services area and has shared her organization skills and good humor with the team in many ways, including serving on this year's commencement planning committee. Let's give all of those folks a I'm now going to introduce my boss, who will make a presentation of the Meritorious Service Award, Chancellor Karen Carey from UAS Juneau.
Thank you, Director Kraft. I would like to ask Regent Davies to join me at the podium to present the Meritorious Service Award.
Thank you. In addition to conferring degrees, the commencement ceremony is also an occasion to recognize outstanding individuals with an honorary doctorate or the Meritorious Service Award. Evidence of a significant and lasting contribution to the community and/or the state of Alaska in an individual's discipline or profession is the decisive factor in determining if an individual recommended for the award will receive an honorary degree or a Meritorious Service Award from the University of Alaska. On behalf of the University of Alaska Regents and UAS Chancellor Carey, I am honored to present Dr. Elliot Brule with the 2022 Meritorious Service Award for his extraordinary and inspired service to Sitka and the people of Southeast Alaska during what is arguably one of the most challenging periods of our lifetime. At this time, I'd like to invite Dr. Elliot Brule to join us at the podium to be recognized with this token of our appreciation and to receive this award. Dr. Brill will deliver the commencement address.
Goodness. Let's see. Are you able to hear me okay? Good. So I want to thank Dr. Kraft and Dr. Carey and the Chancellor and the Regents for this honor. Certainly, it should be accepted on behalf of a whole large group of people who've really stepped up in the last few years to assist all of the communities of Southeast in dealing with all of the challenges that we never anticipated we'd be facing. So I'm very honored, and to whatever degree we've been able to be successful, it's been because of the work of many hundreds of people in many different communities. So I am honored also to be a commencement speaker at your graduation. You all look wonderful, and this is a really exciting moment. I know from having gone through some graduations myself and with my kids. I've heard it said, though, that being a commencement speaker is a little like being the corpse at an old-fashioned Irish funeral. They really need you in order to have the party, but no one really expects you to say very much. Basically, I'm the last thing standing between you and the degree that you've worked so hard to achieve. And I'm going to tell you that having sat through really quite a few commencement speeches, both for my own graduations and as a member of faculty at a medical school, that I honestly I'm hard-pressed to remember much of anything that's been said in any of those commencements. And not because I wasn't paying attention. It's just such an exciting moment for you and for your family. But I will tell you one thing. When I graduated from medical school, I never in my wildest dreams imagined that I would end up being faced with the kinds of challenges that we've been faced with in the last couple of years, and that it would fall on my lap to be dealing with that. And so one thing I can tell you is probably without a doubt, there are things that you would never imagine that will come your way, challenges in your life and in your careers that at this point in time you can't foresee. And I would like to mention just a few things that have served me well in the last couple years, and maybe you'll remember one of them and maybe you won't, and that's okay. But then I'd also like to read a brief selection of poetry for you, because really maybe it's more about the feeling of the moment than it is maybe about the substance of the words, and hopefully that will be some kind of a benediction for you, and maybe I can beguile your parents or your guests. So the three things that I would say that really have been so important for me and others in the last couple years in trying to wrestle with the pandemic. One of them is build strong relationships. Another one is have a positive attitude, and the last is communicate well. So when you're dealing with a big challenge or a crisis, you need strong relationships, good relationships. But the problem is that you can't find them or build them at that moment. The only time you can really build strong relationships that will serve you well in a challenge is long before. When the opportunities are there, build strong relationships with people around you and around the day-to-day opportunities that you have. And those relationships will hopefully then be there to serve you well when you're faced with the big challenge that you didn't anticipate. If you spend any time on fishing boats in Southeast Alaska, you're going to see a bumper sticker that says, "Attitude makes the difference." and it does. So we're all blessed with abilities, and we gain knowledge when we go to school. We gain skills from our teachers. But in the end, the thing that will make the biggest difference in our success is a positive attitude. Life throws curveballs at us, and a positive attitude is something that carries you forward through the most difficult times. And lastly, communicate well. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is, if something is important enough is important for you to communicate to somebody, don't rely on someone else to do the communicating. And don't do it through an email or a text. Pick up the phone or speak face-to-face with people when you really have to communicate about something important. It will make a difference. Well, that's enough of that. So I'm going to read for you a few brief sections of one of my favorite poems, which is written by Walt Whitman, who lived in the 1800s, and it's from his poem, The Song of Myself. He's kind of the great poet of youth and optimism, and really this is a terribly optimistic moment for all of you. And so hopefully this is a few words to carry you forward. I celebrate myself and sing myself, and what I assume, you shall assume, for every atom belonging to me as good belongs to you. I loaf and invite my soul. I lean and loaf at my ease, observing a spear of summer grass, my tongue, every atom of my blood, formed from this soil and this air, born here of parents, born here from parents the same and their parents the same. I now in perfect health begin, hoping to cease not until death. I have heard what the talkers were talking, the talk of the beginning and the end, but I do not talk of the beginning or the end. There was never any more inception than there is now, nor any more youth or age than there is now. And will never be any more perfection than there is now, nor any more heaven or hell than there is now. Urge and urge and urge, always the procreant urge of the world. Out of the dimness, opposite equals advance, always substance and increase, always sex, always a knit of identity, always distinction, always a breed of life. Who goes there, hankering, gross, mystical, nude? How is it I extract strength from the beef I eat? What is a man anyhow? What am I? What are you? In all people, I see myself, none more and not one less. And the good or bad I say of myself, I say of them. I know I am solid and sound. To me, the converging objects of the universe perpetually flow. All are written to me, and I must get what the writing means. I know I am deathless. I know this orbit of mine cannot be swept. I know I shall not pass into the night. I know I am august. I do not trouble my spirit to vindicate itself or be understood. I see that the elementary laws never apologize. I exist as I am. That is enough. If no other in the world be aware, I sit content. And if each and all be aware, I sit content. And one world is aware, and by far the largest to me, and that is myself. And whether I come to my own today or in 10,000 or 10 million years, I can cheerfully take it now, or with equal cheerfulness, I can wait. It is time to explain myself. Let us stand up. I am an acme of things accomplished and an encloser of things to be. Rise after rise, bow the phantoms behind me, and far down I see the huge first nothing. I know I was, even there. I waited unseen and always, and slept through the mist. Long I was hugged close, long and long. Immense have been the preparations for me. Faithful and friendly the arms that have helped me. Cycles ferried my cradle, rowing and rowing like cheerful boatmen. For me, the stars kept aside in their own rings. They sent influences to look after what was to hold me. And before I was born out of my mother, generations guided me. All forces have been steadily employed to complete and delight me. And now on this spot, I stand with my robust soul. I tramp a perpetual journey. My signs are a rainproof coat, good shoes, and a staff cut from the woods. No friend of mine takes his ease in my chair. I have no chair, no church, no philosophy, but each man and each woman of you I lead up upon a knoll, my left hand hooking you around the waist, and my right hand pointing to landscapes of continents and the public road. Not I, not anyone else can travel that road for you. You must travel it yourself. It's not far. It's within reach. Perhaps you've been on it since you were born and did not know. Perhaps it is everywhere, on water and on land. Shoulder your duds, son, and I will mine. Let us hasten forth. Wonderful cities and free nations we shall fetch as we go. If you tire, give me both burdens and rest your hand on my hip, and in due time you shall repay the same service to me. Long enough have you dreamed contemptible dreams, and now I wash it from your eyes. You must habit yourself to the dazzle of the light and of every moment of your life. Long have you timidly waited, holding a plank by the shore. Now I will you to be a bold swimmer, to jump off in the midst of the sea, rise again, nod to me, shout, and dash with your hair. I am the teacher of athletes. He that by me spreads a wider breast than my own proves the width of my own. He most honors my style, who learns under it to destroy the teacher. The spotted hawk swoops by and accuses me. He complains of my gab and my loitering. I too am not a bit tamed. I too am untranslatable. I sound my barbaric yap over the roofs of the world. The last scud of day holds back for me. I depart as air. I bequeath myself to the dirt, to grow from the grass I love. If you want me again, look for me under your boot soles. You will hardly know who I am or what I mean, but I shall be good health to you nevertheless, and filter and fiber your blood. Failing to find me at first, be encouraged. Missing me one place, search another. I stop somewhere, waiting for you. Good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Brule.
Thank you.
This year and every year, many of our graduates are celebrating their successes in such places as Anchorage, Fairbanks, Iquique, Unalaska, Norvik, and so many other Alaskan communities, big and small, that are served by the university through distance education. Though they may not be able to travel to Sitka to join us for this commencement ceremony, we'd still like to take time to honor their accomplishments. Our online programs and condensed semester programs such as mariculture and scientific diving semester also make it possible for us to be graduating students tonight from locations much further away, such as Elgin, Oregon, Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania, and Bel Air, Maryland, to name a few. We will read aloud the names of those present tonight and include the names of all of our graduates in the YouTube video that will be created from the recordings of this event. Graduates, we are now at the point in our program where we can begin to celebrate your accomplishments and confer those credentials and degrees that you have worked so hard to obtain. We'll begin tonight's acknowledgement of academic achievements by first recognizing those students who have completed their occupational endorsements. There are a number of individuals who have started or enhanced their post-secondary education by earning an occupational endorsement. Students who have completed an occupational endorsement have obtained industry-specific knowledge and skill sets gained in a relatively short time. We would like to recognize each of these students for their accomplishments. This year, UAS Sitka is awarding 102 occupational endorsements, and we're fortunate that a number of these students could join us tonight. Thank you, and congratulations to these students. We'd also like to take a moment to recognize those graduates of the Fall 21 and Spring 22 classes of the Alaska State Troopers Academy who completed an occupational endorsement in law enforcement. Their achievements are celebrated in a separate ceremony hosted by the Department of Public Safety. I would now ask Chancellor Carey to come to the podium for the conferring of the UAS undergraduate degrees.
The UAS Sitka campus delivers its educational programs not only with local and regional leadership, but also under the ultimate authority of the University of Alaska Board of Regents. Regent John Davies has traveled here tonight to assist in officiating this commencement ceremony and the conferral of degrees, for honoring the accomplishments of our students and for the conferring of the undergraduate degrees and certificates. I would ask Regent Davies to join me at the podium.
Will the candidates for University of Alaska undergraduate degrees please stand?
It is my pleasure to present these candidates for the University of Alaska degrees and certificates. The registrar has certified that they have fulfilled all academic requirements, and the faculty of the University of Alaska Southeast recommends that these candidates receive their awards.
Thank you. Tonight's ceremony honors the achievements of 64 students earning undergraduate degrees and certificates. Many of these students have attended University of Alaska Southeast via e-learning from towns and villages across Alaska. Others are local residents who study here in Sitka or by distance from other University of Alaska campuses. Although those who are not present have been unable to travel to Sitka to participate in our celebration, we respectfully confer their degrees in absentia. Please note that cum laude means that graduates have earned a 3.5 grade point average or higher, and magna cum laude indicates a GPA of 3.8 or higher, and summa cum laude means the student is graduating with a 4.0 GPA.
The decision to continue one's education beyond the baccalaureate level signifies a commitment to becoming highly prepared and specialized in one's field. Graduate degrees and post-baccalaureate certifications and licensures serve to identify scholars pursuing an in-depth understanding and mastery of their chosen profession. To recognize the accomplishments of our students and for the conferring of the graduate degrees and certificates, I would like to ask Regent Davies to once again join me at the podium. Will the candidates for the University of Alaska graduate degrees and licensure certificates please stand? Regent Davies, it is my pleasure to present these candidates for the University of Alaska degrees and certificates. The registrar has certified that they have fulfilled all academic requirements, and the faculty of the University of Alaska Southeast recommends that these candidates receive their awards.
Well, derived from medieval origins, academic regalia has been worn by scholars since the 11th century, when the rise of universities began in Europe. Learned clerks robed themselves in gowns, caps, and hoods, thus marking a difference between town and gown. The hooding of a graduate student represents their entry into academia as master's scholars. Our visiting president for academic students and research, Dr. Paul Lehrer, will assist in this ceremonial gesture as each candidate for a graduate degree is presented. Dr. Lehrer, would you please join us at the podium? Tonight, we celebrate your achievement in the presence of your family and friends. On the recommendation of Chancellor Carey, with the concurrence of President Pitney, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution of the State of Alaska, and as a member of the University of Alaska Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon you the degrees you have earned with all the rights, privileges, and honors you so richly deserve. And now, to make it official, graduates, would you please stand? And please move your tassel from the right side of your cap to the left side of your cap, signifying that your journey from student to graduate is complete. Would everyone join me in congratulating them?
You may be seated. With the assistance from our faculty and the podium party, let's begin the Academic Achievement Awards presentation. I'll start by asking Assistant Professor of Health Information Management, Tricia Bell, to take the stage to assist me in presenting the Health Information Management Graduate of Distinction Award.
I have the privilege to recognize a student of Health Information Management Program as the 2022 Graduate of Distinction. This graduating student is selected collectively by program faculty for demonstrating active engagement, academic achievement, and a strong professional aptitude during his or her studies. This year's HIM Graduate of Distinction is Miranda Day from Kenai. Miranda was unable to join us today. Miranda enrolled in the HIM program in the spring of 2019 with no background experience in healthcare. Miranda demonstrated active engagement in course activities and was always an engaged learner. She demonstrated her willingness to learn by actively participating in class and ensuring she understood the material. Miranda did such a great job during her 75-hour internship. When she applied for a job at the internship, she was hired. A comment from a site supervisor on her evaluation form was Miranda demonstrated a professional demeanor and was attentive to assigned tasks. Soon after completing the program, Miranda took the Registered Health Information Management, RHIT exam, and passed in January of 2022. Miranda has since demonstrated her interest in the HIM field by volunteering her time for the Alaska Health Information Management Association. She is a member of the Communications Committee and the Program Committee. Miranda has taken the lead on the Communications Committee to get communications out to our member via our newsletters. Miranda is also engaged in the Program Committee. This committee puts together the Alaska State Health Information Management Conference. I see Miranda as an advocate for the HIM field and a great example of our association, the American Health Information Management Association, as a lifelong learner. Congratulations, Miranda, on receiving the HIM Student of Distinction Award and all you have done for accomplishments. Now I want to invite Associate Professor Amy Samuel to the stand to present the Medical Assisting Graduate of Distinction Award.
It is with much pleasure and enthusiasm that I announce Patria Ashmore as the Medical Assisting 2021 Student of Distinction. Patria lives in the Mat-Su Valley and won't be able to join us tonight. Patria's constant attention to course content allowed her to fully grasp the concepts and basics of our curriculum, and she was extremely well prepared for our clinical skills labs, both academically and in demonstrating skills. Patria has demonstrated multiple instances of extreme professionalism and highly effective communication while interacting with other students, her professors, and her practicum sites. She is a true role model, embraces the spirit of medical assisting, and also received a competitive national scholarship for medical assistants. Since completing the program, Patria has obtained her credential and is working as a CMA AAMA. Congratulations. And now I'd like to invite Associate Professor Joel Marcus and Assistant Professor Angie Bowers to the stage to present the Fisheries Technology Graduate of Distinction.
We would also like to welcome Dr. Lauren Wild to the stage to help us this evening. My name is Joel Marcus. I am the program director of the Applied Fisheries program, and every year our faculty and staff review the list of graduates and select a student of distinction. That our selection process involves not only academic achievement, but also a student's passion for fisheries as well as their character as a whole. And this year's student of distinction is Matt Crow. Matt, could you please join us on the stage? As I mentioned, Our selection process involves not only academics, which Matt clearly has a very robust academic record, but it also involves an individual's passion for fisheries, and in this case also fishing. Matt is not only extremely passionate about fishing, to the degree in which he not only builds his own fly rods, but has created a company that builds fly rods manufactured here in Alaska for the fishing conditions that we experience here in Alaska. In addition to that, he has also developed a clothing line that the proceeds to that clothing line go back into supporting sustainable fisheries here in Alaska. And so that clearly demonstrates an extreme passion for fisheries. With respect to character, Matt is, his character is surpassed by few, and like many of our students, Matt has had a full-time career while pursuing his academic achievements as well. Matt has worked for the last 5 years as a respiratory therapist on the Kenai Peninsula, and we've had many conversations about his journey throughout the last couple of years, and as we all know, in Matt's day-to-day job, not only is he trying to provide treatment to patients, but at a minimum, just trying to help people breathe. And so being able to do something that noble and then also have time to come home and engage in family and academic pursuits, I think speaks highly to Matt's character. And so for those reasons, we have selected Matt Crow as our student of distinction. However, it has become tradition that in the fisheries program, we like to not only distinguish our graduates, but we like to provide them with something so that they can be distinguishable, something that is a little bit flashy and something that might help them stand out from the school. Those are fishing puns if you haven't heard them. And so I would like Angie Bowers to please crown or bestow Matt with our things. Matt, thank you. You are very deserving of this acknowledgement, and we are excited to welcome you into the fisheries profession here in Alaska. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Oh, and you have...
A celebration like this cannot happen without the hard work and contributions of many people. Again, thanks to the stage party for traveling here to make this evening a special occasion. Thank you to Dr. Brule for your remarks and your attendance, your remarks to our graduates. Thank you, Regent Davies and Dr. Lair for traveling down from Fairbanks to join us. And thank you, Dr. Carey, for coming over from Juneau. Unseen to most of us was the long hours of hard work of the Commencement Planning Committee, Tricia Bell, John Ingman, Lucienne Shoemaker, Randy Nutting, Margene Ragsdale, and Greg George. What an outstanding job of tweaking a program and making this work. So thank you for your efforts. And a final thank you to our graduates and their families. You have earned this special ceremony with your many long hours of sacrifice, dedication, and hard work. We are proud of what you have achieved and wish you all the best. I'd like to ask the audience to remain in place as the stage party departs, followed by the faculty and then by the graduates. We're going to do something a little bit different. Well, for most of you, this is the first time you've done it, so you don't know if it's different or not, but we're going to do. So the stage party is going to exit down the stairs, and we're going to stop towards the back of the room. We'd ask the faculty to follow us, but we want to form lines on both sides of the center aisle. Then we'd ask the students to come through and essentially run the gauntlet of our as we applaud you and your efforts. In the past, we would have been shaking your hand, but instead of shaking hands, we're going to be clapping for you. I would like to invite the staff of the university to join us with that too, because you played just as much of a role in making this happen as well. So if you're part of the faculty, part of the staff, part of the stage party, we'll form two lines and invite the students to come through and bask in our warm appreciation and congratulations.
The Maxoluni, hey, 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 the Maxoluni.